So we got the long-awaited episode 7. So Evan, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Tell us about you. What are your good qualities and all that stuff?
So I don't know actually. I'm Evan, obviously. I'm in Odyssey.
That's a pathway at Lakewood High School.
Yeah, halfway at Lakewood High School. I'm good at what I do. Helping people with their work. Well, I'm not so good at helping myself, honestly.
So when you say helping people with their work, what does that entail?
Usually it's like people right next to me, like they don't get something. I can explain it to them.
Are you sure it's just helping, like strictly just helping them?
Yeah, it's just helping.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. So, what would you say your journey with track is? Like, where do you think you're going to go with track and cross country?
To be honest, I don't know. I just don't think I'm gonna make it quite as far as like other people like Evan Vong or William will. But I think I'll be able to do decently.
Yeah. What is your current time for the mile?
For the
800?
mile, I believe it's 5:36 for the mile, and then for the 800 it's like 2:26. Yeah, 2:26.
And just to put that into perspective, that's like the top 0.001%. So it's up there with Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps. Anyway. So, what did you say you wanted to major in when you're in college? You wanted to do something with oceanography, something like that. What was it?
Yeah, like marine biology, I think.
Yeah. And what made you get into that?
I like fish. I really like fish. Yeah.
That's awesome. What's your favorite fish to eat?
To be honest, I don't really like eating fish. Personally, I prefer beef.
Really? So do I. That's what's up. Yeah. How often do you eat beef?
It's like every other week, I'd say. We can't really get it much because it's kind of expensive for us, but
Really? So what kind of beef do you get then?
whatever's there. I don't really know what cuts we get, to be honest.
Because for me, I get a 73-27 like leanness in beef rib, and it's $5 a pound when you get it for 3 pounds. It's $15. So that one's that's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
that sounds pretty good.
And it's actually cheaper than like most like fish, like salmon. Salmon's like way more expensive than that.
It's like
27.
lean, right?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just move this.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be an issue.
Yeah, so, yeah, as I was saying, salmon, when I was looking at it, it's like $27 for like 2 pounds. I think it was like maybe 3 pounds. Whereas the ground beef I get is the 73-27 is $15 pretty much for 3 pounds.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Would you say, well, the beef that you get, is it ground beef or is it like a steak?
It's like a steak.
cut?
Yeah, it's a steak.
Oh, I would imagine that's why it's much more expensive. Because when I was getting steaks the other day, it was like it's 17. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was $17 for like, I think it was $17 for like 2 pounds. I'm not sure.
2 pounds for $17. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You go to like Winco or like some
I think it was at Ralph's.
Ralph's?
Yeah.
I go to like Winco and like random Asian markets.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what Winco is.
No way. Dude.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a hood thing because they're all up in like.
Yeah. So when would you say you're gonna make it out the hood?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it out the hood at least by the age of 30. That's the goal right now. I'm gonna start making cash. I'm gonna join the military.
Really?
Yeah, extra income. I'm gonna do reserves, probably Marine Corps.
Are you gonna do that for the purpose being to pay for your college, or what would the main purpose be?
Get some money, and simply because America. I don't really need to say much more.
Yeah. I can kind of relate to you in that I'm trying to make it out the suburbs with my YouTube channel.
Right.
So yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's
cool.
the goal. Trying to get to like the hills and stuff, huh? That's the goal.
Yeah, trying to elevate, get to a higher elevation.
Hey, ambition, that's a good thing. Ambition's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. So what's your experience with tarantulas?
Tarantulas. My parents, they've eaten tarantulas before.
Really?
Yeah, my father ate them to survive the famine. I've watched.
What famine are you talking about?
The Khmer Khraham, which is the communist genocide.
Wow. And where was that in Cambodia?
Yeah, in Cambodia.
Wow. That's intense.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Like an entire quarter of the population was wiped out. So that's a higher percentage than Hitler managed to kill if we're going by percentages.
And so when did he? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, when did he manage to get out of Cambodia?
Like 90s, I'd say. Yeah, 90s. He got his like visa and everything to come here.
And what was that? Have you talked to him about that? What was like that transition like for him?
Not much. I haven't talked to him about it. He doesn't really speak much about it either.
I mean, I'd imagine it's probably not something you'd want to talk about. Yeah.
He left behind his like family to come here because most of them were already dead by then too.
Wow. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. So I mean, I don't really know much about the history of Cambodia. I didn't realize. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of Asia at the time, like Vietnam and China, had been struck by communism and stuff like that. So, what else do you know about that? Do you know anything else?
I mean, Vietnam had it pretty gently, I'd say. Whereas like Cambodia, like that was a full-on genocide rather than like something that kind of worked. I would say communism never works. Sometimes like countries are able to survive on them and stuff and just become regular countries, I'd say. Other times it's not going to work out.
Yeah. What would you say to people out there, especially there's a lot of people in the universities in America who are kind of leaning towards Marxist and communist ideologies. What would you tell them?
They're only able to do that because they're in a capitalist society.
Yeah.
Now, you can't lean towards capitalism in a communist society.
Because you can be a communist or you can be a socialist in a capitalist society, but you can't be a capitalist in a socialist or communist society, right?
Yep. That's when they start chopping heads off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's intense. So, have you ever tried tarantulas yourself?
No.
You've never tried it?
Yeah.
What made you not want to try it? Or why haven't you tried it?
I like spiders, and I don't like the idea of eating tarantulas. You know, they're hairy spiders, hairy oversized spiders, if you think about it. Although they're not quite the same genus, if I remember correctly, so they're not exactly spiders.
So just the idea of it crawling around in your mouth and stuff like that. Is that what it
I mean, even then, you know, they got big fat spinneret butts, and they got legs, you know, like weird legs with muscle in them.
If you were to do it, would you rather do it raw or cooked?
Oh, cooked without a question.
Yeah.
You know, might be good actually, because it's basically crab. Although I don't really like seafood myself.
And how much would you say you would have to get paid to eat a raw tarantula?
Yo, you'd have to pay me like medical bills for like the mental trauma, and you gotta cash me like at least $1,000.
And for the bitten tongue.
For the bitten tongue too.
Yeah.
Maybe a tongue transplant with that.
Yeah. Wait, so you said your father ate a lot of okay. Well, so was that a big tradition in your family, like other than the famine? Like, is that a big tradition?
Really.
Not really.
Eating tarantulas existed before the famine, but it got big during the famine because that was all really to eat.
Well, it's probably a big culture now because of that famine, even though there isn't really.
Yeah.
Even if the famine isn't going on, because I used to always see. I don't use TikTok anymore, but I used to always see on TikTok live streams and stuff. There'd be that girl who like chows down on like raw tarantulas or whatever.
That's crazy.
It'd be the craziest stuff.
You won't find people eating raw tarantulas in Cambodia, but cooked ones maybe. It became like a tourist trap sort of thing in Cambodia. A good way to make a lot of money.
Yeah. So, speaking of Asia, what's your favorite part of history? Maybe it's particularly in Asia. What would you say?
In Asia?
What would you say your favorite period is?
Honestly, I have like an interest in like India, I'd say. Like India's like empires and stuff. I've never been too interested in East Asia. I've never really cared much for like China or Japan, to be honest. But like South and Southeast Asia, I think that's an interesting area.
Wait. Sorry, I got to check. What were you saying?
I mean, I'm interested in like South and Southeast Asia, but not so much towards like China or Japan.
So like India?
Yeah, like India or
Bangladesh?
Yeah, Bangladesh, yeah.
Do you have a lot of Bangladeshi friends out there or what?
Nah, I got an Indian friend though.
Is he cool?
Yeah, he does calisthenics and stuff. He's pretty cool.
Oh, what's his name?
Takesh.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. How good is he at calisthenics? Like, does he do one-arm muscle-ups or what?
Yeah, he can do one-arm muscle-ups. I've seen it, but
really
not a lot. I'm pretty sure he's working on it and stuff, but he's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
He has a good physique.
Can he do like a one-arm handstand?
One-arm handstand? Yeah, he can.
That's next level. Because the world record for one-arm handstand is like only like just under a minute. So to be even able to do one is just insane.
I mean, I'm just glad I want to do calisthenics one day, but that's probably after track. Because, dude, track, it's impossible to build muscle in distance.
Yeah, and then sprinting, for example, it actually helps your hormones, helps regulate your hormones, gives you more HGH, testosterone, like growth hormone.
Yeah.
Whereas distance, not so much. You're kind of just burning away.
You're just burning like carbs and stuff. Like that's why there's
well, not just carbs, a little more than that. You're burning away carbs and all your everything, I guess. All your fat, maybe a little muscle.
Yeah, definitely a bit of muscle, because that's what they burn first before the fat itself.
And it's just not as functional for strength training in general. You know? It's not really it's not explosive or anything.
It's just an absurd thing to do, you know, like who has the craziest amount of stamina, but it's not going to really serve you much at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're not running after deer for 50 miles anymore, huh?
Yeah.
We're more interested in who's the fastest person, who can run from that pole to the other pole fastest.
Because at the end of the day, anybody is a good distance runner if you put the distance far enough. At some point, it just becomes who can walk the most or something. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about walking long distances?
Walking long distances? I mean,
that's the real way. I've been considering that. That's the real way to get shredded, to me, in my opinion. Because walking doesn't burn muscle like long distance running does. Because what I've heard is the two best. There's 3 different types of like cardio. One where it's like sprinting, where you're.
Hey Chris, get the fuck away from my bitch.
Bro. One where you're sprinting, you're going like high intensity interval training, whatever, where you're going as hard as you can for a set amount of time, like a minute or whatever. And then you've got mid intensity where you're going, it could be anywhere, probably 30 minutes, whatever it is, probably mile, 2 miles, stuff like that, where you're out of breath, but it's for a long time. That's the worst one for, at least what I've heard, is the worst one for muscle growth, And then also another one that's good for muscle gain is just walking, like low intensity for long periods of time. That's right.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I've seen like a lot of shredded homeless guys, dude. Like it's crazy. And I know they'd be like traveling across state lines and stuff, like actually.
They may be shredded, but I don't know how much muscle they have.
Yeah.
They're barely affording food, you know.
Exactly. They don't get the protein, but they got that like lean muscle build and everything.
Yeah. How many calories are in a homeless guy?
Maybe like 300, dude. They're not that much.
300?
Yeah.
That's like the size of my finger.
Yeah,
they're like
I know.
a couple fingers though.
Oh, I mean, think about it, dude. They're living off of like corn husks every day, dude. That's all they're eating. On a lucky day, maybe like the donuts out of like.
It's alright.
On a lucky day, maybe like.
I don't even know what corn husk is. What is that?
That's like the outside peel, I guess, of the book. Not
Peel?
the leaf things around it.
Oh, like the husk.
Yeah, the husk.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the way you
Corn
said it.
husk.
It's the way
Yeah,
you
my
said it. It sounded different. So speaking of corn, what does your diet consist of other than red meat?
I eat a lot of chicken and eggs, actually.
Yeah.
I eat.
Is that why you're like one of the most jacked humans I know?
Oh yeah.
Is that
for
why?
sure. Yeah.
For sure.
I'm built like. I'm built like Sam Sulik. You guys just can't see under my shirt. So.
Yeah.
And I'm 6'5". So. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, just for our female audience, he's 6'5", more jacked than Sam Solik. Okay.
Oh, and I'm a
Discussion
feminist,
essay.
actually. Yeah, I'm a feminist.
He never said that. Don't listen to him. He's not a feminist. Ladies, don't worry. Anyway, so I noticed what kind of shoes you got on there? New Balance?
Oh yeah, I got New Balances.
What's your opinion on New Balance?
I mean, it kind of depends, but overall, they're like a pretty solid like shoe brand. Probably some of the best.
Really?
I mean, they might not.
It was kind of for a while all my dad would wear New Balance. It seemed like
They're functional. They're pretty comfortable
they are.
too.
Yeah.
These ones though, they're pretty worn out by now, but they're still pretty comfortable to walk like even miles.
And what would you say is better, jeans or shorts? Like, what do you wear more?
I'm a jean person.
Yeah.
I only wear shorts if I'm running.
I wear pants probably every couple billion years probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I'm more of a shorts guy. I'd say.
For me, like California is pretty cold. I mean, it's coming from someone who's lived in like a tropical hellscape, you know, where you can get like fish that swim up your
A
dick.
tropical hellscape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on what you mean by that? Like
Oh,
tropical
Cambodia.
hellscape?
Yeah. Just think of it like the Amazon. Like it's literally just the
How many
Amazon.
times have you been to Cambodia?
3 times, I think. Yeah. But I've only gone recently, like last year, I'd say, during the summer. Only the other 2 times were like I was really young.
How did you like it last summer?
That's pretty good, honestly. I mean, didn't get to do everything I wanted, but everything I had to do was already set in stone, basically. My parents already planned out the trip and everything.
What did you do?
I became a monk. I explored like pretty much like the 3 major cities, see a video. I crossed over to Thailand actually to visit Bangkok just to buy clothes and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And then we went to see the White Temple in Thailand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was more of a tourist attraction than any actual like temple, I'd say. But
So is the White Temple, is that a Buddhist temple?
yeah, it's like Buddhist stuff, I guess, depicting like hell and stuff, like in the layers and stuff.
Okay. Wait, it depicts hell in the
Yeah,
layers?
it literally just.
So is there a Buddhist hell? Like, tell me more about
Oh yeah,
that.
there's like layers of stuff for like sins you might do and stuff, like
Really?
lust or murder.
And so would you say Buddhism, it's a religion that's more based on works, would you say?
I would say
On your actions?
Oh, it's definitely more heavy on actions and stuff. Basically it just says that your own salvation is up to you. But
Really? Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, like, even like the core of Buddhism isn't really like the religion itself. Buddhism adapts itself to whatever people takes it up, I guess, and they combine whatever religion they already had with Buddhism.
So what you're arguing, would you say it's more of a philosophy then?
Yeah, it's a philosophy that gets integrated into other religions.
Yeah. And what role has Buddhism played in your life?
To be honest,
Or like in your family's life?
oh, I mean, my parents are extremely religious, but I mean, past that, they're very selective with their morals and what gives you bad karma and good karma. So
Yeah.
I
So
must-
karma, I recognize that more as like a Hindu thing. It's a Buddhist thing too?
well, yeah, because Buddhism evolved from Hinduism pretty much, and so it's kind of like the default religion that goes with Buddhism.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's your stance? What's your stance on religion as a whole, and what would you say you believe in now?
I mean, personally, I think I might convert to like Catholicism. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, because I have like 2 Catholic friends, and I've read a Bible before, and I think that's kind of what swayed me, I guess.
And when you say might, what's kept you what's kept you on the fence?
Oh,
What
my
would you say?
parents for sure. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm a kid, so yeah.
So it's more about, it's more about what you believe in. So what would you say? So would you say you believe in Jesus? Is that what? You
Yeah,
said?
because I feel
I mean,
like
that's really what it comes down to. It's not, church it can play an important role and is important too, but it's really just Jesus. Jesus is the main thing.
Yeah, that's the like core belief, you know.
Like
accept
just
Jesus as your
because
Savior.
you can't go to church yet because of your parents or something doesn't mean you haven't converted. Like all it really is, like I was saying, is just if you believe in Jesus, if you accept him.
I mean,
So-
probably like the most annoying like misconception about like Christianity is like just the belief that by simply accepting Jesus you will go to heaven, but no. I mean, you could believe in Jesus but not truly have him in your heart, and then you're lukewarm. I remember there was like a scripture about it, I believe.
Well, by believing in Jesus, you'll naturally feel guilty about sins that
Yeah.
you've done, and you'll be less likely to do them over time.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to.
But some people believe that, like, you know, I just think that they believe that Christians are people who decide to just let go of all responsibility of the things they've done, and thus somehow that makes them bad people, I guess.
Well, because Jesus already paid the penalty.
Yeah, he paid the penalty. Like, when he died for like 3 days, he faced hell pretty much for us. At least that's what I've heard. Yes, what was explained to me.
Wait, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by
I
face
think
hell for
that-
3 days, but I just know he paid the penalty when he was put on the cross, and
Yeah, when he was put
beaten,
on the cross.
so.
I mean, like, I don't know if
And
there's
the
more-
reason that it's paying him doing that pays for our penalties is because he lived a perfect life. So he's paying for our penalties. There was no penalty for him.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's what I was told. It like explained to me. And then like the thing I just described, like the hell thing, was more of like a philosophy thing. Like in the days where he was dead before he rised, I guess, he was like facing hell, I guess, something like that.
So, what friends have preached Jesus to you, or what friends have or like Catholic? What are you talking about?
Eli and Sergio.
Oh yeah.
Both of them went to my middle school.
Oh yeah. Eli, is that the guy in track?
Yeah, on the track team.
That's cool. That's what's up. Yeah. And what's made you transition more to Jesus, or what's made you led you more to Jesus rather than like something like Buddhism?
I think
what would you say?
So like a big amount, it was like a disillusionment with like Buddhism. I kind of came to realize like most of these people, they claim to be more moral than Christians. Yeah, that's like a common thing I see like passed around in my family specifically. I don't know about all Buddhists, but they seem to believe they're better because they believe that like, oh, if you're a Christian, you believe that you can let go of all the bad things you did just because you believe in Christ, and they think that's wrong. And if it was that way, then I would maybe agree, but it's not that way.
I just think the main thing is that the reason it's like that is because I don't believe there's a place where you can draw the line.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, someone goes to hell, someone goes to heaven. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? I guess maybe some people out there would say murder, but I would caution people because
I don't think just simply doing murder.
Because think about it, someone that's done 10 different robberies, or a bunch of different things, like, and at the same time, nothing really compares to hell, like being in a lake of fire for eternity. Mm-hmm. So like that's why it makes sense to me that Jesus is the way.
Because here's the thing, I believe that even if a person has done all those bad things, I feel like if they genuinely feel sorry for it, if they really do make an effort to change, they deserve better than that. And also like a big amount is like a disillusionment with like Buddhism itself, because one of the core beliefs is that women are genuinely lesser than men, like because they were shittier people in like their past lives, they've now become women, which is absurd to me. I feel like Buddhists can't seem to accept that sometimes life is unfair, that it sucks, but you gotta suck it up and just deal with it. That's life. But they seem to want to blame someone else, like their past lives or someone else around them.
So would you say that that's kind of why you'd say it's more just some guy giving his interpretation on life rather than an actual holy figure? When you're talking about Buddha, would you say that?
Yeah, no, for sure. He's just a guy who went through life and stuff. Like, he never claimed to be a god or anything. People kind of made him not exactly a god, but
because a lot of people out there, like a lot of Buddhists out there. I mean, like I know one. Like for example, they believe it to be more of a religious thing rather than a philosophy. Like,
well, I mean that kind of depends. Because a lot of like Buddhists, I mean, if we're talking about like Chinese Buddhists and stuff, they integrated like Buddha into their like mythos, and he basically became a god in their like mythos, anyways.
Yeah.
So
let me check. I always make sure. Okay. I always make sure it's still recording. So.
I mean, I feel like even after I convert, though, I will say this: I'll still take part in like.
What the heck?
God damn.
Boy.
Nah, that's a crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what were you saying?
I mean, even after I convert to Christianity, I'm not gonna forsake like my traditions or anything, which is like one of like my family's biggest fears if I do convert, because they're scared I'm just gonna let go of being Cambodian itself, because Buddhism and being Cambodian is tied like really deep, because we've had like Buddhism in our culture like for a while now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll still partake in traditions and stuff, but I'm not gonna like revere like anyone besides like Jesus and God himself as a god.
Yeah. And what would you say to people out there who feel that certain people are like certain people, maybe possibly like myself or someone who's born into a Christian family? What would you say to people who think that, oh, people are only Christian just because they're born into a family of Christians, like their parents are Christian or something? Because you clearly have gone against that rule. Yeah.
Well, people who are born as Christians, I wouldn't say they're necessarily like born and thus forced to be Christians. I think it's more like, I mean, it guides them, but I feel like if you don't really believe in it, you're going to eventually like stray away and convert to like being an atheist or something. But I feel like a lot of Christians, they do find like Christ and stuff. I feel like that's why they stay Christians. It's not just because they're born into it.
Yeah. And what would you say? I guess I kind of already asked this question, but what would you say, like, even with your family being Buddhist and all that stuff, what would you say has led you to Christ, I guess? What would you say?
Like reading the Bible for like the first time, I guess. I think a lot of the morals and stuff align with like my personal worldview, I guess. A lot of the things preached and stuff.
Yeah.
Like compassion, forgiving, obviously, and also like thou shalt not murder. But that doesn't mean you, because sometimes I believe that it's necessary to do like things like self-defense.
Well, there's a difference between killing and murdering, right?
Yeah, that for sure.
If you end someone's life because you're threatened and it's in self-defense, that you're killing that person, you're not murdering them.
Yeah.
Because their murder is premeditated. That's the difference.
Yeah, you're doing it simply out of like some selfish want or something like that. But with Buddhism, like, there's no difference. I believe, like, because they're the ones who want to kill me first, like, I have a right. They've broken the social contract that we both deserve life, that we won't do anything to each other. That's how I see it.
So, you said with Buddhism, it's different. How so?
Well, I mean, no matter what you do, even if there's a reason behind it, it'll still be seen as, like, murder, I guess, and, like...
Really?
When it's time for you to be judged in Buddhism. No matter what, like, was the reason you killed someone.
Wow. Yeah, so that's a pretty important distinction, because a lot of people nowadays, especially in the West or like more secular societies, they frown upon Christianity, they frown upon Christ. They talk all this trash about Christ, but then they look to a religion like Buddhism and like hail glory to it, as if it's like the best thing ever. You know?
I mean, I kind of see why, because at its core it preaches like pacifism and stuff, but it creates social issues because it's not a realistic view of the world either. That's how I see it. Because, I mean, go to like Japan or Cambodia. Cambodia is a third world country. There's still rampant crime and stuff. And then Japan, like, nobody even wants to live because it's work and stuff. There's no, like, time for yourself as a person or anything spiritual.
Yeah, there's no, like, in places like a secular place like Japan, there's no purpose other than just to make money and work, you know.
Like, it's not even making money too. It's just making money for the company itself. You're just there as a cog. They give you enough money to survive and work another day.
Yeah, because nothing except Christ like lasts forever. That's why you don't want to have anything else as your look to, whether it's family or even if it's family or some people close to you, even if it's something like that, they're not going to be around forever, but Jesus always will. So, yeah, that's what's important. So, what would you say? Whew, I'm trying to think of something. Yeah. How much do you think you'll continue in cross country and track next year?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna do it like all 4 years, honestly. But I have a bad feeling for my senior year. I know there's gonna be like almost no one left.
You were saying that like you wouldn't want to do calisthenics and cross country at the same time, but I don't know. I think if it's calisthenics is a little different. I mean, I think you could still get a decent physique, even if you're not going to get put on that much size.
Yeah.
I think you could still, at least.
I can tone my body.
You could get something, yeah.
I can get something.
Yeah. I would recommend if you wanted to start working out. Well, in general, my best bet, like if I didn't get all the weights I had, I would probably simply use like $30 gymnastic rings, and you could pretty much do them for everything. Yeah. Planche, dips, all that kind of stuff for calisthenics. And yeah, that's all you really need. You could just work up to super hard progressions like one arm handstand, one arm pull up, one arm muscle up, all that kind of stuff. And that's, I mean, I don't know how much more strength you need than that. I mean, well, I'm gonna keep pushing it when it comes to weights and stuff. But that's what I would do if I was in the position where I didn't have weights and I was thinking of starting strength training. That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the whole thing that like apparently like lifting weights can make you shorter or something because it's like compressing your back?
Well, I saw a video. This guy was saying that it can actually help you because what are your bones? what do your bones need to support themselves? They need muscle and strength.
Yeah, they need muscle.
So, if anything, if you're building strength at this age, it's gonna promote that growth because you're gonna have the strength to support it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like if I have a friend who's like 6'2" and the same weight as me, and he's super skinny, you know, he's probably not gonna. It's hard to say. It's because a lot of it's genetic, but he's probably not. If he's already kind of at his genetic potential, he's probably not going to grow any taller because his body's going to be like, we're barely like supporting ourselves, you know.
I feel like even if you do have bad genetics, I do think you can still like make a lot of like add to your height, I guess. Because I remember there's this like Indian like bodybuilder. He lives off of like Greek yogurt and stuff and like chicken. His parents are like 5'5", you know. They're barely taller than me. But he's like 6'2" and stuff, like, and he does a lot of like weightlifting and stuff. And he never turned out short or anything like that. So I think nutrition matters, obviously. If you're eating like shit,
Or you could take growth hormone like Messi.
okay.
He went from 5'6" to 5'10", I think, from growth hormone.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I heard that a long time ago. That could be a lie. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Honestly, like for height, I feel like just don't eat like shit and make sure you recover. Because obviously, if you're getting like 3 hours of sleep, you're not gonna grow. You need that sleep to grow, and you shouldn't be like overusing your body and stuff because that's just gonna get you injured. Your body's gonna be more focused on dealing with those injuries than actually growing.
Well, yeah. I mean, Juan was showing me the other day that him and a couple of our other friends, they wanted to get like steps in. They're like, oh, we want to get 10K steps. They were taking. He was showing me pictures. They were walking at like 2 a.m. It's like, bro,
dude,
that's literally counterintuitive. You could you'll get a better physique and leaner, whatever you want to call it, instead of getting the steps.
Yeah.
Like by just sleeping.
Yeah, literally.
Like, you know, at 2 a.m.
Because your body, it'll deal with like your stuff. Like when you grow, you're gonna lose a lot of that fat and stuff if that's what you're worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, say that again? So you're gonna lose?
I mean, your body has to use up something, right, when it grows. So that might be like your fat and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because
that's why I'm getting all the milks on 150 at 5'5", 5'6", whatever.
Because my brother used to be like really fat. He got like once he hit puberty, he like used all that up and stuff. Like he's like taller.
Yeah,
than
my
me.
friend Noah, you've met. He said that he was like overweight as a child or whatever, but then it just like he lost all of it because he just like sprouted up.
Yeah,
like,
literally like that's what can happen.
yeah.
So,
Which I kind of shot myself as in the foot when I was a kid because I feel like I lost a little bit of potential because a lot of it's like the younger you are, the more important it is. So
you got to get more sleep when you're younger, and you got to eat more. Like, dude, if I have kids, bro,
because I was so picky when I was like a little kid, like 5 or whatever.
bro.
Like I would eat like if there wasn't something there that I didn't like, or if there wasn't something there that I liked, like whether it's spaghetti, mac and cheese, or pizza, if it wasn't any of those things, then I just wouldn't eat.
Yeah, no, same thing, dude. All I ate was French fries and like beef and stuff, dude. That's like all I would eat. I feel like I barely ate. My brother ate everything, dude. Like he didn't care what it was. It could have been a tarantula. He will eat it.
And what's his physique? Is he like bigger? Is he bigger or
yeah,
what?
he's bigger for sure, but he doesn't work out or anything. So
Yeah.
but dude, yeah.
Have you ever been to the gym?
No. I haven't been to the gym.
Like
I'm
a
only
Planet
waiter.
Fitness or something?
No, I've never been in. I wanted to.
If you do go to a gym, don't go to Planet Fitness because you need to do some like you're better off doing some free weights.
Yeah. Dude, like, I just wish I got more sleep when I was younger because, dude, all I wanted to do was stay up and stuff. I wish I ate more because all I wanted to eat was, like, pizza and stuff.
I think especially in, okay, by the time I was in middle school, I was eating more. I wasn't eating like I was when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's true.
But like when I was in 7th grade and I had like a perfect 4.0 GPA both semesters, but I look back on it now, like I would stay up. I wouldn't do it when I get home. I don't know, whatever reason I had that problem. But then I would wait till it was the time I should be going to sleep, like 9, to start working on this, like 9 or 10 or whatever. Yeah. And then I would just be up until like 2 or 3.
Yeah, same
and
thing, bro.
once or twice 4, like really late. but it would always be 1, 2, or 3. I'd just be listening to music, bro, like just while doing the homework, and that I honestly probably would have preferred, especially because I was like 2 points off. It was like you had to have a 3.7 GPA to get into Millikan.
Yeah.
And then I had like a 3.68 to be guaranteed, to guarantee a spot.
Yeah.
For like Quest or whatever. And I just think I would have been better off if I didn't worry about all that, because I ended up not even, didn't even matter anyway, because I didn't have a 3.7 like the GPA I had because of 8th grade and 6th grade.
Yeah.
6th grade was crazy, COVID, whatever. I just be grinding video games.
No work done. Yeah, I had no work done. Dude.
But yeah, I mean, I would have been better just saving all that time just sleeping, like, because that was when I was like that was my prime growth stage. I would say when I was fifth, 6th grade, I was like 3. I was like in the 75th percentile. I was like taller than 3 out of 4 like guys I knew.
That's
I was
a lot of potential.
I was a lot, but then 7th grade came, and I was kind of just like more like average because I was just blowing away all that sleep.
Yeah.
And now I see a lot of my friends doing it now, but I guess some of them like Julian or Riley, I guess they can afford it because they're already there. Like Riley's 6'2", Julian's 6 foot, but I just wouldn't play with that stuff anymore. I wouldn't chance that. I mean, it's not just about height too. I mean, when you get like 4 hours of sleep or whatever, when you get like 4 or less, like you're developing more cancer cells in your body too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing too.
Honestly, like, I don't know, I have like a lot of regrets, but honestly, I'll just try and make sure that like my kids don't do the same dumb stuff that I did.
Yeah, make sure they eat more when they're kid, sleep more.
They gotta have a better diet than me for sure, dude. Vegetables.
Definitely, I'd want to get them into calisthenics at a young age too.
Yeah.
I do think there's something to be said, like, I think the type of lifting I'm doing, not so much. I don't think it's a big issue, but when you're talking about, the crazy like Olympic lifts, right, where they snatch it over their head, like this wide grip or whatever, throwing, like you see like there's like little girls on the internet or whatever throwing hundreds of pounds over their head. Like, obviously that can't be great for growth, but what I would say is doing like, if you get even having them do like super crazy calisthenic skills from a young age, I don't think that, if anything, it'll benefit them. I don't think it can harm them in that way.
Because like, here's the thing with height. Okay, so first, your body, I mean, obviously genetics play a part of it, because that gives you like the start.
Well, it's 80-20. That's what it is. It's 80% genetics, 20% lifestyle.
But also like,
that's what I've heard, I guess.
So I would say genetics like gives it like a sort of like base like thing to like, it has to reach this much and stuff. But then your lifestyle and stuff, like, you work out, your body like sees a need for you to get taller, like jumping and stuff, and how that apparently helps your height. That does like a lot for it too. I think like, hold on with this. Once your body sees a need to get like height, you got to get the sleep in too, so that your body can have time to actually add that height. So yeah, I would say I would get my kids into sports, get them a better diet so they have the stuff they need to build the height. Once they get into sports and stuff, that should help them like grow. Like their body's gonna need like time to like recover and stuff. Cause
my brother always said basketball makes you grow taller.
It kind of does actually. I've seen it like work on people. That's the thing. Because I've seen
it
people
makes
with
sense. Well, yeah, I mean, I know this one guy. I don't know what his name is, but he was 5'4". I think he was a freshman in college or something, probably around there. And his coach told him he's got to get taller because he wasn't jumping as high as a lot of the other guys or whatever. But then they started this like training routine or whatever, and he became famous. He started a school for height or whatever, where he pretty much used like every single tactic in the book. He'd hang every day. He'd do all this stuff. He'd like use this machine while he slept or something, or not, like this little stretcher thingy or whatever while he sleeps to get longer and taller. And he went from 5'4", like when he was already like probably 19 or something, like mostly grown, to 6'2". Yeah. So pretty crazy transformation.
Because your body doesn't like shut off like that valve for you to grow height until you're like 21 or 25. So yeah, I would just say get to a high impact sport, do everything you can to like help your height, then you should be good.
Sprinting.
Yeah, sprinting. Yeah, sprinting, basketball, jumping, having to reach up towards like the top cover, that sort of stuff. It's like
eating more.
Yeah, eating more for sure. And vegetables,
It's interesting, a lot of people say that that's not true, like eating more. Like they'll say, oh, like that doesn't do anything.
No, that's okay. What is your body gonna build then without food?
Yeah.
Like, how is it gonna build?
Yeah. What time?
Oh, it's 3:30. My thing's an hour behind.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're good. We got like 30. So, have you started driving yet?
No, I haven't even started the driving permit stuff.
When's your birthday?
July 6th. Yeah.
I remember July.
I could apply for it. I could have started it. I'm just lazy.
Mine's in August, so, and I mean, I started like a couple months. It took a while for me to do the course for whatever reason, but I just finished it recently, so I'll be getting my permit soon. I just got to do the written test. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I'm just hoping, dude, like, I get like my license and stuff soon, and my permit, and then, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I kind of want to go on like late night drives, but gas costs money.
Yeah, I have like a Honda Civic, or like a 2010 Honda Civic.
Dude, my family has 3 cars, but we live in a garage, so like, I don't know what we're doing with our money. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I've wondered the same thing because I think my grandparents, like, their house still isn't paid off, and they, not so much anymore, but they had like 5 cars at one point. I was like, what? Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah.
When it comes to renting and buying, what would you say, like, what are you gonna do when you're older?
Dude, I'm for sure buying, dude. I could never rent. Because here's the thing. Like, rent, like, if you just keep renting and stuff, they basically have an infinite money source coming out of you. I mean, I'm not saying don't always avoid rent. Don't. Because sometimes renting does make sense. It's beneficial. It'll benefit you. But generally, I don't think renting is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said this to my mom. I mean, it might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I would honestly rather sleep on like a park bench and wait till I get the 20% more 20% down payment than to be renting. You know?
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking about it, if you're renting, well, one, it's costs. I didn't know this for a while, but my aunt told me it actually costs more. The rent actually costs more than the mortgage because they're going to pay you more, so they don't have to pay off the mortgage, so you're paying it for them.
Yeah.
And wait, kind of lost my train. Wait, what was I saying?
Your train of thought?
Yeah.
So rent more expensive than mortgage.
Yeah, and well, it was that, and also, and then also I was saying, when you're renting too, how it's so much more difficult to allocate money towards the mortgage, or I mean towards a down payment, if you have to put money towards the rent in the first place, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you're putting all that money towards.
Yeah. I don't know, like finances, they're kind of weird, but because I took like a financial savings class at UCI like for like a week. I stayed in dorms and everything. I mean, probably like some of my like closest friends there, but one of them went to Texas, one of them graduated like last year, and another one's joining the Marines like at the end of this month. So he's gonna be shipped off for deployment. He's active duty.
Wait, so when did you take this class? And like,
dude, it was like,
so it was UCI?
Yeah, it was at UCI. It was like a summer program sort of thing.
Dang.
Yeah. Dude, I just miss my like 3 like bros, bro. I met back then. Dude,
How
we
old
ate
were they?
together. One of them is the same grade as us, Angel. Eric, he already graduated, and then the one that's joined the Marines, he's a senior right now. And then immediately after graduation, he's getting like sent to basic.
Dang. Yeah, I'd prefer not to go in the military.
I mean, yeah, I think it makes sense.
Wait, you said you're going, huh?
Yeah, I'm going. For sure.
What branch? Marines?
Marines. My parents at most want me to do like Army. They don't even want me in the military at all. From a mix of like, oh, it doesn't make any sense to do it, and also like religious beliefs.
Well, I think it definitely. Well, yeah, I mean, for me, it's difficult, right? I wouldn't like killing people all that much.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. I mean, it really just, and also a lot of it depends on the leadership too, right?
Yeah.
If I got a leadership who's not respected, then I 100% wouldn't want to. Because
dude, all you are when you're a foot soldier and stuff, you're literally nothing more than like a grunt. Like you're just
when
like,
you're in the army.
Yeah, when you're in the army or the Marines, you're just there to like advance whatever plan they have. If that plan goes south, it's over for you. You're chalked.
Well, looks like the bell just rang. So what I was saying is, well, the Marines, they're forefront.
They're the first one. They're all getting mastered. They have
So
the
if-
least
so if-
benefits and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have the least benefits and everything.
Yeah, and so if you get put, or if we declared war on someone, you'd be
I'm gonna
shipped
be
in
the
there,
first
yeah.
to be shipped in. Yeah.
That's why the army, this dude was telling me, it's the best branch
Because they just kind of sit around at the bases and make sure nothing happens.
Yeah, they're only in there when things are going south.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. But I don't know. I feel like this like attraction to the Marines. You get the worst benefits. You eat crayons, and you're the first on the front lines. But something about that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking insane.
Would you? I don't think the Marines don't have a. They don't have like a special ops, do they?
They got tier 1 teams, but I wouldn't say like all of them are spec ops necessarily. No.
Well, yeah, but when you think of special ops, you're thinking
Like
whether
Green
it's
Berets and
Navy
stuff.
SEALs, Green Beret, Army Ranger, stuff like that. Would you consider doing like special ops?
No.
You wouldn't want to?
I mean,
Oh,
it's different from frontline combat. That's the thing, you know. They're not better necessarily. They're more specialized. That's the thing. Which is why, I mean, it's in the name, special ops. They're not.
You should
better
be a Navy
soldiers.
SEAL.
Maybe I could. You know, I'm good at holding my breath and stuff.
You got the endurance, so.
Yeah. Because, yeah, that's the whole thing about the military in general, dude. They're just dudes who have, like, crazy endurance. They're not necessarily the strongest or anything.
Except if you're probably like an Army. Actually, no, because Army Rangers, they still walk pretty long distance.
For them, it's more about, because like, spec ops and stuff, you have to travel long distances. You get, like, dropped off far away from the target itself.
But yeah, Army Rangers, they're the ones who pretty much, they go in there and blow everything up.
They do stuff behind the front lines and, like, the covert stuff.
So, how much are you weighing at right now?
I'm like 120. I'm pretty
120?
light. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty light.
Do you think you're heavier than Juan?
I might be heavier than Juan, maybe. Nah, I think.
Well, he said he's 120, so.
Oh, we're probably like around the same amount then.
Yeah. It's just he's a lengthened 120.
I could probably lift him up, I think, but he could probably lift me up
Who
too.
do you think would win in a wrestling match? You or Juan?
Oh, me,
'Cause-
possible.
oh, yeah.
Because it's like concentration of weight and stuff, you know. Like I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, dude, my arms are gonna weigh more than his.
Well, Juan actually lifts though. He's getting
Oh.
decently strong, so better watch out. What are you looking at?
Derek. Hey, let me say hi to Derek real quick.
All right. Want me to pause it?
Yeah, pause it.
All right.
Derek.
All right. What were we talking about? Weight?
Yeah, wait, me versus Juan. Honestly though, I mean, I think it'd be pretty possible for Juan to pummel me. It depends. We're not really that much different, I guess, in like height. And
So
weight.
one Evan versus 100 Juans.
One Evan versus 100 Juans. I
No,
mean, me, obviously.
one Zach versus Evan and Juan.
You might win, but it's two people at the end of the day. So,
I mean, I'm 260 though.
yeah,
You know
you're
what I mean?
260. You could like, if you could get us like one-on-one, for sure, like it's probably gonna be a loss.
Yeah. I mean, if I grab a hold of you because I'm 260,
It's over. Yeah, it's over.
No,
You're
but
gonna,
actually,
like spin us around and then like you're.
but
gonna
actually
throw
though,
me at
I'm not 260, but I am pretty thick. I'm 150. So.
Cause like, dude, obviously your arm strength is gonna be crazy compared to mine and stuff, dude. Dude, I look like a freaking chicken bone or something, bro.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten into arm wrestling?
I've done arm wrestling,
Yeah.
but dude, I'm
Are
not.
you the winner? Are you
Not always.
the winner?
Depends. I can beat girls, I guess. I can.
Dude,
beat
it
some
was
of the
bad
guys.
in kindergarten. In kindergarten, before I started getting bigger, like before I got height or muscle or anything, I lost to girls because it was always because they were like taller and stuff. But like, bro, it's still embarrassing. It's like there's no tall girl like at the entire school who could beat me in arm wrestling. Like I don't care what weight, whatever it is. Like they're not gonna beat me.
Yeah. It's like,
Maybe if they're like at 3, but I don't know. Other than that,
Dude,
I don't know if they're gonna be
300-pound girl, bro. That's straight up Gorlock, bro. That's like some like.
Gurlock the Destroyer.
Yes, bro. Gorlock destroyer.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah, dude. Low key, bro. If we could just like use obese people as like plates, I guess that would be like low key crazy if you think about it. Cause like think about it, dude. They're like 300 pounds, bro.
Man.
Like, bro, I don't think even Sam Slick could lift up like Gorlock.
Like, but
That's tiny,
But-
bro.
but I'm morbidly obese. There's obviously a difference between morbidly obese and obese, right?
Obviously, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Obese versus a beast. you know,
Yeah.
like you.
No, wait, no. But there's no such thing as obese.
Yeah.
Morbidly obese. But
Obese.
Obese, it would just be
Obese.
obese.
Yeah, that's obese, but not obese.
It's just stupid.
Oh my god, bro. What are we talking about, bro? Alright, we gotta lock back in on this podcast.
So I've been thinking, I'm getting close to 225 on flat bench.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking when I get my haircut, it's going to be a 0 on the sides pretty much all around, and then leave everything on top. What's your opinion on that?
I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know much about haircuts myself. Yeah. I mean, bro, like, people will say something like low taper fade, and I don't even know what the hell that means, bro, or what that looks like, bro.
I think it's pretty much when they like, it's self-explanatory. I guess it's lower, with the lower fade, where they only cut off the bottom part, I guess.
Like, what the hell is a taper, bro? All I can think of is like scotch tape.
Yeah, Scotch tape.
Yeah.
That one reminds me of that one athletic take from Shark Tank. You ever seen that? Where it like holds the 45-pound plate.
Yeah.
And then he could easily rip it too at the same time.
Damn.
Yeah. Bro, you seen those AI videos where it's like this powerful entrepreneur shocks Mark Cuban into a powerful or amazing deal or something. I don't know.
Dude, I've seen some of those videos, bro, but like they don't make any fucking
It's
sense.
like there's always sounds that are associated with like a certain type of video. Like the sound of that is like it's always like the Gordon Ramsay videos too, and the Shark Tank. There's that one. It's like dun, dun. And then you've got the ones where it's what else is there? I know there was one other one. I don't know. I can't think of it right now. So, what if you didn't do track or cross country? What else would you do?
Not badminton, to be honest. Like a lot of people think I would have gone into badminton. Like I tried
What about
it.
tennis?
Tennis, no.
Boys tennis.
At that point, I might as well just do golf, bro. Honestly, I would have done soccer.
I think you'd be pretty good at cheer.
Hell no, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you seen that one gay guy on the dance team, right, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Hell no. No, I'm not falling into that archetype. I would have joined the soccer
Color
team.
guard. Yeah.
Dude, I don't even have the coordination for that. But soccer, I was actually good at soccer, especially in middle school.
Oh,
I
yeah?
played it like a lot too, especially in like
Want to know my story with soccer?
what?
So, I got into it like I was like 4 years old, I think, and I have a trophy. I have one trophy from 2013. I completed one season, and then my second season, I was like 4 or 5 still probably. And okay, I'd started not to like soccer already because people would always have the ball instead of me, and that always made me mad. Whatever, whether it was practice or whatever. And the final straw for me was when, it was in mid game. I'll never forget this. It's like a or I guess a negative, core memory. Probably one of the most important, like a turning point, whatever you want to call it. And I in my game, I had like scored my own goal, and that was like the final straw. Like after that, I sat down and my mom forced me to go to all the games after that, but I never played again after that. Yeah, it was like the saddest moment.
Damn.
It was like, I don't know why. If only I hadn't been so stubborn about it, or so let it get to me so much. Because I mean, I could have played. I kind of envied it later, like just playing soccer or baseball or whatever. Like I kind of wish I had stuck with it, you know, for sure.
Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah. 'Cause I could have genuinely been like a good soccer player. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll never know because I only played a season or two.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool for sure.
So I mean, you were a kid back then, so can't really think on it too hard anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We all do stupid stuff as kids and like make like mistakes that we end up regretting the rest of our lives somehow.
So what was it like being the center for Lakewood on the football team?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's crazy, dude. I was tackling dudes left and right, bro. I mean, and then I scored a touchdown like after like sweeping a whole like squad, bro.
I mean, you've made a crazy transformation since then. Now you're a lot healthier, you know.
Yeah, I'm a lot healthier.
Used to be, I mean, you were almost 3. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I
And
stopped
then,
smoking
like,
crystal meth.
Yeah, I mean, he literally lost like 1.5. Like he lost like 1.5 of me, pretty much. Or no, like one of me, I guess you said. Like I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah. Hey, I was just built different back then. Just saying.
Yeah.
And I lost height too. You know, I went from being like 7 foot to like now 6'5". Yeah.
Stop the cap.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, that was satire, guys. He was not. He's not the center. He was not 7 foot. I don't think anyone fell for that. Anyway, I don't know why I had to clarify that, but so
I mean, I look like I could be 7 foot, right?
yeah. He's obviously 6 foot right now, but not 7 foot. So you're talking about history. So what part of the history in, like, say, Southeast Asia did you like?
Oh, I mean,
Like learning about too?
the Cambodian Empire. I mean, I'm not talking about like learning in class, but just like history. Like I know myself. I know a lot about like European wars and stuff, but that's not really what I'm interested in necessarily. I'm interested in like weapons developments and stuff. I just seeing like how like they evolved and stuff and reasons why.
I'm definitely interested in European history. I mean, the Enlightenment, the Protestant Reformation.
I mean, that's away
all
from
that
the
stuff.
wars and stuff. Yeah, like the Enlightenment and stuff. That's pretty cool. Like just seeing how like I mean, look at even like Miss Obi said herself. Like they started off basically being like poor as hell and kind of amounted to nothing back then, and then now they're like
Middle Ages.
Yeah, now they've amounted to like the world's like dominant force. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy, you know.
Well, they were actually good before Rome fell.
Yeah,
they were
that
thriving.
Was that was like Roman stuff. But then once
Yeah.
they hit like the Dark Ages and stuff, yeah.
Are you trying to grow a beard or what?
Maybe
Looks
a
like you got a
goatee.
little, little bit there.
My dad has a beard and stuff. Like it's kind of in our family genes to have like a beard and stuff. But
Trying to get like a Genghis Khan beard.
oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean it's like generally like Cambodians, they're at least like 13% like Indian. So that's probably like why we
yeah.
have both beards.
How much Bangladeshi?
Oh, I don't know, bro. I mean,
Pakistan.
the Bangladeshi people are probably the
Pakistan.
reason why. Oh, Pakistan, bro. Dude, what is going on over there?
You seen that
bro?
one video of the kids like screaming, like how talking about what they'll do for Pakistan? You seen that?
I think so, yeah. Dude, what the hell is going on, bro? There, bro. 2 nuclear powers, bro, ready to kill each other and everything, bro. They're ready.
Yeah. You see, Putin launched like a couple missiles into Ukraine, like some large like scale missiles.
Yeah, dude, and I was like,
Even the president now is like calling him out, saying like he's going crazy.
yeah, dude,
It's
like
interesting.
China's picking sides with Pakistan, the U.S. and Russia are picking sides with like India. Like, what the fuck, bro, is going on,
Yeah.
bro? I feel like we're getting.
I haven't really heard much about Pakistan and India lately, but what's going on there?
Terrorist attack happened. They killed a bunch of civilians and stuff, dude. Like Hindu tourists too. Like this has been like targeted for like ever since like even before like they split into 2 different countries.
Well, what I understand with Pakistan and India is that Pakistan is like the Muslim ruled India, and then India is just like the Hindu ruled India. That's why they split.
Pakistan is incredibly poor. Like they get like a lot of their people just leave for India anyways. But the thing is, they're kind of turning like India also into another Pakistan. Like it's crazy, dude. If I remember correctly, Mumbai, like a city in India, has a greater GDP than all of Pakistan. Like one city is able to do that in India.
Dang.
So like, I don't know, bro.
Well, I mean, New York City probably has more wealth
Pakistan,
than most countries in the world,
That's true.
or Africa, Asia, or maybe
Well,
not Asia, but
yeah.
Africa. Whatever. How much would you have to get paid to live in Chad, Africa?
Dude,
Chad.
low key, not even much too, because that would be enough to support you. But dude, I would not want to live in like Chad, Africa. Maybe in like Central Africa, because it's not that different from Cambodia actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
How
like
so?
just like the environment, because they're both like tropical jungles, I guess. If you send me to like the Congo or like Mesoamerica, like I would be fine.
Oh yeah. Mesoamerica is South America, right?
Yeah, well, it's like the middle area
Oh,
of America, like Mexico and stuff, and Guatemala. Oh, well, Guatemala is kind of more south, though, I guess.
If you had to choose a continent to live in the ancient times, or like a specific area, like what would you choose? Like for ancient times, let's say like 800 BC, like Moses times.
Moses times.
Like 800 BC, around there.
I don't think Mesoamerican like civilizations really existed back then. Asia was having like all the great empires and stuff like China.
Well,
and
if
the
you were in
Mongols,
America,
right?
you'd probably have everything to yourself back then.
Yeah, that's true. You would
Because
have
the population had to have been like extremely small, if
yeah.
anything.
There was a lot of resources and not that much people, but think about it. They also hadn't really invented like the wheel or anything. So
Well, in 800 BC, I guess they did. I mean,
Well-
800 BC is so long ago, but maybe around that time. I guess
Europeans and stuff, they already invented it. They already invented the wheel. But
well, that's why I was
Mesoamerica-
saying ancient Europe was thriving compared to like, even though they weren't doing so good in the Middle Ages. I mean,
Yeah.
they were still similar to like modern times. You know?
But if you talk about like Mesoamerica and stuff, they never developed the wheel until like Europeans came because they never saw a reason to. They didn't have cattle.
Like I didn't realize this for a while, but like think about it, like the Roman army, like the Roman Empire,
They-
would have crushed like a medieval army easily.
Yeah, no, not even a question. They
Yeah.
could have stood against the Mongols for like a while.
Like think about the Spartan army. Like
Mm-hmm.
they would. Okay, Mongols, I don't know, but I'm just saying because the medieval army, I mean, they were barely.
Yeah, they were barely anything. They had like
Yeah.
armor plating and that was it. Like they didn't have any swords like compared
But
to
I'm
like,
saying
the
like because
gladiators.
they barely were able to. They were under threat all the time, so they barely. I mean, they could barely get training. I mean, I guess they trained, but like, it wasn't. It
They
wasn't like
weren't-
Spartans or,
yeah.
or Romans or whatever.
Yeah.
So
But
much different.
now, why I think they might be able to stand up to like the Mongols. Okay, individually, I don't think they could. But like in a formation like the phalanx, where like they have the shield set up and spears poking out, they could, in theory, like block off the horsemen for a while, at least until like maybe they get reinforcements or something. But if it's like a city siege, it's kind of already over because the Mongols were known for like biological warfare and stuff.
If you had to choose to be a soldier from any time in history, what place and what time?
Dude, not even a question. I would rather be like a soldier in the modern era. Like, yeah, we have like modern man-made horrors and stuff, but dude, at least you had like decent resupply if you're American. Because
Better toilet paper. For
yeah,
Sure.
better toilet paper. I'm not gonna shit into a bush and run around on the battlefield with like shit still in my ass.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, they in ancient Rome, a lot of times they use like I forgot what it's called. They would use the entire village or the entire town would use like the same thing. Like it was like some stick or something. They'd all use the same thing.
that is crazy. And they would shit into their own water supply. So like, I don't even know.
Yeah, which I guess that's kind of similar to Middle Ages where,
I gotta go soon actually.
like 5 minutes.
Let's get 5 minutes.
Where they were, what was that? Oh yeah, when they were developing towns and stuff, like as feudalism began to decline and stuff, but the towns had no like sewage systems
Yeah.
or anything like that.
The Roman
So-
Empire had sewage systems, though. That's the thing.
Mhm.
So
But I'm saying like in those towns and stuff, that's how they got like, that's part of why they get the bubonic plague.
that's
So-
why it spread so easily because like
Yeah.
it spread through their waste. It spread. Nobody like distanced each other.
And then there's that one town where, and all the buildings were so close together. Like that one town that I think it was in France or something,
Yeah.
or like
Dude.
medieval France, where
Yeah.
they had rebuilt it 6 times. Like they built it with wood like 6 different times, like over and over. They didn't learn their lesson.
Yeah, dude. No, France. I've seen it. It's just a nicer version of like Cambodian cities, dude. They're really cramped and stuff.
Oh, in France?
Dude, yeah, just like in France,
Really?
like just I mean to be honest, kind of Europe in general, they're really like tightly packed. But
Yeah.
even
Have
as-
you been to Europe?
No, I've seen a lot of pictures and I've had friends and family that go there. I have family that live in France actually.
The U.S. is definitely where it's at this
no,
point in history.
not even a question. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people shit on the U.S. and say, "Oh,
I used to kind of feel like that for a little bit, like maybe for a little while. I was watching like those videos where people are talking about, oh, come to Dubai, come to Thailand, all this stuff. But it's like, it's not. They're not like they're kind of just like a hot spot for a moment.
yeah."
The U.S. is more sustainable.
Because
So-
like, dude, people will say stuff like, "Go to Bangkok." Dude, the benefits you get there are only because like it's like a second world or a third world country, dude. Not because like it's genuinely just better than the U.S. And it's only for the time being. It's different.
Yeah,
There's
and
its own
me and my
problems.
brother were watching this video,
Mhm.
like in Bangladesh, where they're watching Bangladesh. This guy was visiting Bangladesh, and they're saying it's equivalent. Breathing the air there is equivalent to like smoking a pack of 25 cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
And we're seeing like you could buy. I think it was like $100, or probably cheap. It was like a super cheap, maybe 20. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just know it was a super cheap amount, like for at least like people in the U.S. or whatever, or countries like in developed countries like the U.S.
Mhm.
where they could get into these hotels next to all these like terrible areas or whatever, like all these landfill stuff, and then yeah, like I said, and right next to it you could have just this luxurious hotel.
That's
like
crazy, bro. That is disgusting too. That's disease. No, Bangladesh.
Yeah, the land. I mean, there's so much trash there. It's crazy.
Bangladesh is worse than like India or Pakistan, like without a doubt. I would say I know a lot of people joke around like, oh, India is so disgusting and stuff, but dude, out of like Pakistan and Bangladesh, it's way cleaner and stuff. It's just like some cities. Some of them are genuinely disgusting.
What countries have you been to?
Cambodia, Thailand. I've stopped in Korea and Japan for a short bit, but I never really explored their cities. Korea is just depressing. I don't know why. Like, I looked outside.
So wait, Korea, Japan, Cambodia. Those were those the ones you
Thailand.
mean? Oh,
Yeah.
Thailand.
I've apparently been in Mexico for a short while, but I was young.
Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to visit like Mexico and stuff, and just like maybe some parts of South America.
I think I went to Oh yeah, I just remembered. I forgot about this. I think I went to Arizona like once, when I was 3 or 4 years old. I was like probably 3,
Yeah.
and all I can really remember is being on the flight with my blanket. I just remember my blanket and being like, I don't remember really being there, to be honest. I just remembered the plane ride.
Dude.
Speaking of planes, I remember the first time after that. That was the first time I'd been on a plane. I didn't really remember. I was so young, I barely remembered it. But when I was like 7, I think, yeah, I was like 7 when we went on a plane again. Like my first time I could like truly remember it, and I was with my 3 or 4 year old, like 3-year-old little brother, and he was just screaming like bloody murder on the plane. I was like, what?
Dude.
I could not relate to it at all. I'd never really had a like fear of planes like that. I didn't understand it.
No, I don't get why people are scared of planes. Like, I flew on them. Like, it's not that much different from a car, dude. Like, I'm sorry. But also, like, dude, honestly, like, not even a joke. Like, U.S. states are so different from each other. Even, like, Arizona, like, Nevada's actually pretty similar to us, but Arizona's pretty different, I'd say. I can't imagine what New York or, like, North Carolina are like, dude.
Well, at the same time, I don't know. I wouldn't really agree with that. I would say the U.S. in general, I feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, well, you're comfortable in it, but they're different enough where, like, you can kind of tell the
Well,
difference.
there's some cities where it's kind of like San Francisco or whatever, where it's kind of like a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the majority, the U.S. I feel comfortable, but other countries like below us, like Mexico or Argentina, all those random countries, like I don't really feel comfortable. The main place I'd really feel comfortable is the U.S. and maybe some Western countries, but mainly the U.S.
I think with Mexico, it kind of depends on like what state I'm in. Like some of them, like I generally just feel a little out of place. Others like are kind of nice and stuff. Tijuana is just kind of like California 2.0 to me, honestly.
So, anything else you want to add? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up.
I mean, not really. I'll get going in like 2 minutes. Yeah. I think it would be best to like close it down now.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed Evan Touch on the podcast, episode number 7. And yeah, that's it.